Hi, my name is Yenziwe Silondiozond. Here today we're going to speak about my quiz game. Here you see that we are at the homepage where I have a text view for the logo, a text view for the welcome card, and two buttons, one for starting the game and one to exit the game. The code is pretty simple. For the start, we have a val intent that allows us to go to the actual game. And for the exit button, we have the finish affinity to basically finish all activity, whether it's in the background or itself. We also then, when we press the start button, it allows us to go to the game, the actual question screen, where here we have one text view for whether questions are actually displayed. And we're dealing with Boolean, so we have true or false button. One is true and one is false. And then we have another text view that displays whether you've answered the question correctly or incorrectly. And then we have a next button that allows us to swipe through the questions and also go to the review page where we will get our score. Here we have declared our variables for the buttons and the text views. We come here at next after the declaration that we also put our question, our parallel arrays for the questions and the answers, that it is easier when working with them. We also have initialized our question index, which allows us to swap through the questions. So hence we are working with parallel arrays, and we've also initialized our score to 0 because it starts from there. We have now come here to initialize our buttons to let them be found, and then we come to the positive button. So we've made a shortcut variable which match answer to question, which for positive button is a replacement for the true button, and neg button is a replacement for false. Hence, as you can see in the match answer to question, that it each has its own definitive answer. In the next button, we're here now dealing with our current question index, which allows us to sift through each question. Here we also deal with val intent, where after everything has been answered and has been answered, we're allowed, we take whatever that has been answered to give us the score. But also within the next button, controls or code, we are enabling and disabling our buttons that if the user has not selected an answer, they cannot move on to the next question. And we also have here, these are our shortcuts that we've given them a function, each shortcut that display question and match answer to question, we've each given them its own functionality. For display question, we've put it out there that each question must be displayed in the text view, designated text view. I've also added code that when the question is displayed, that it is visible and it is bold. For our match answer, we've also made the functionality that should the user put an incorrect answer, that it displays incorrect, and if the user chooses the right answer, that it displays well done, your answer is correct. Here where it also allows the buttons to be enabled. We then move forward to our review screen. Here, as you can see, it has one text view which is responsible for the score, another that is responsible for the feedback, and one that is in correspondence with the review. It only has functionality if the user chooses to press the review, which displays the answers and the questions. And also in this screen, you're also allowed to replay the game or exit. To simply explain the code, here as you can see in your vowel score intent, this is essentially, as you can see, there's a difference within the other screens in my vowel intent. In the other screens, we had put intent, and here we have get extra, which essentially, to simply put it, put is what pushes the questions and the answers and the score, and get is what essentially retrieves the information. Here we also have an error handling message that should the user have a score that's greater than 3, that they get well done, and if they get a score that's lower than 3, that they are told that they need to keep practicing. For our review button, I've used the for loop that allows you, if the user has answered all the questions correctly or even incorrectly or has not clicked any answers, that it still indicates and gives you all the answers and the questions. Should there be an internet issue or anything else that could cause the questions not to load, that it gives you an error handling message that tells you that something has gone wrong and none of the questions or answers have been found. And as you can see, the finish button code is different to the main activity code. It is essentially one thing. It has the same functionality. It's just done differently. Thank you for listening to my video. Goodbye.